Both wheels are off the ground. Heck yeah! Hey guys, welcome back to Mountain Crawlers. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We are back here with another Jeep, my buddy Corey's, and we're going to be putting some homemade DIY rock sliders on this thing. So, this is the metal we will be using. 2x6 180 wall, which is 3/16 steel, and it'll be in place of the rocker panels down there. We're going to cut the rockers out and weld these bad boys straight in. So let's get to work.
I'm gonna throw it away, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't have anywhere to put it until I'm all done.
So we're starting by pulling the fender bolts on the back side and the lower part of the fender so we can access putting the rock slider under the fender. We're gonna cut the fender right about here, like how my Jeep's done. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut most of this rocker out with a plasma cutter because it's quicker. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can always use an angle grinder or whatever cut option for your choice. But you just gotta be careful not to cut too high. You wanna cut right on this seam below the door. And just follow that line and then follow this pinch seam underneath. I'll show you guys in a sec. And the rocker panel will fall right out. So let's get to work. Alright, so we got everything we cut ground down and flush, and we got a little extra length on our slider material here, but we're just going to cut it out to fit this groove. Kind of cut at an angle too so it doesn't catch the tire, kind of like how I did mine right here. Little angle to match the fender well. So, and then we'll throw some caps on it and then we should be ready to burn it in. Got to clean all this paint off right here too, of course, before welding it. We don't want to catch that paint on fire or have bad welds. All right, so we got our end caps all welded up here on this rock slider. Made this one all conform to this angle we needed to cut. But we are gonna tack it on now and weld her up. All tell me when to stop. Move it back.
My way up.
Good?
No. Let off a little bit, Jaron. I guess that might be good actually. You might want to come look at it. It's just in this one top corner's in the lip. It's just not coming back anymore.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay, that's what I figured. Burning. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Jack on that side, actually.
I'm gonna jack it up with hair.
That's pretty snug.
Cool. Alrighty.
I just never wanted to go into my door. Like I always worried about beating my rockers. Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we got the top side fully welded now, all along to that seam that we cut on the top, and even in here. Welding this is fairly simple. However, if you guys have ever welded really thick metal to really thin, you would know, and here's a good pointer, start your bead on the thick metal and bring it up to the thin metal just slowly. Try not to touch the thin metal that much, but enough to close that bead, or else you'll burn holes right through the body of this Jeep. So just be careful, take it nice and easy, and you'll have a good solid bead. So ground that down a little. It was kind of fighting me here, so it didn't look that great. We got that whole top welded. As you can see, we'll fit the fender to it when we're ready. But now we got the underside to go. So this seam that we cut next to, we're gonna be taking a hammer and an air hammer and flattening it against this, and then clean it up, and we're gonna weld it directly to this from underneath. So Corey's just hammering that seam like I was just telling you guys, and once we get it close enough, we'll finish it off with the air hammer. The air hammer will get it nice and flat up against the rock slider. So we'll just get that done, then we can finally weld that bead. Lots of fun, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's even funner when you gotta weld it upside down.
Yeah, I bet.
Sometimes I wish I had a giant rotisserie and we could just flip the whole Jeep upside down and not have to work on our backs. But what do you do, right? So I'm just taking a jack and pushing that seam up as far as I can, and then tacking it along as I go. That way it's nice and flush against the 2x6. And that metal's so thin it can be kind of tricky to tack. Hey, at least if you mess up here, nobody will ever see it. All right, so like you guys saw, we pushed all that seam up, and I've tacked it all as we went along with the jack and the block of wood to push it up as high as we can. So now I'm just gonna burn it in. We'll fix that fender, and then we'll finally be done with this side. All right, guys, Corey's just finishing up grinding down those welds that we did on the bottom of the sliders. We're almost all done. Now, these sliders, let me just talk about these sliders for a second. These are easy DIY, do-it-yourself sliders. All you have to buy is 2x6 metal, and like I said, 3/16 is my go-to. Some guys go 1/4 inch, but you're just saving a little more weight with 3/16, and I think it's plenty stout enough for most wheeling that we do. So yeah, we're just wrapping this up right now. We have it all fully welded into where the old rocker used to be. You can go a step further and either make your own mounts to tie into the unibody rails, or even Case Suspension does sell a unibody tie-in kit for these homemade DIY sliders that you can buy. I will leave a link in the description for those. Is it completely necessary? There's a possibility that you might slam hard enough and mess these sliders up and push into your doors. However, I have never experienced that, and I've built several of these throughout the years and slammed and beat the crap out of them. So it's each their own. I'll probably end up doing it anyways just to protect my floor, really, and make a mini boat side, and we'll probably do that in Corey's Jeep. He doesn't have unibody stiffeners yet though, so we can't tie in any further right now until his stiffeners are in. Okay, so you guys remember how we cut the fender a little longer than the slider? What we did was folded it and then ran a self-tapper right here directly into the slider. Now it's nice and tight like it was from the factory, so shouldn't have an issue with the fender now. He does need to cut it down to the slider though, so it looks more uniform. As you guys can tell, I messed up on mine and didn't cut my fender the right way, so I ended up doing a rivet in it years ago, and it works. It just looks like a rust spot right there, but my whole Jeep's a piece of shit anyways, so. Just running a quick test with the forklift and the back tires off the ground, so I'd say we did our job. You agree?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. We only had time to do the one side today, but you guys get the concept now. So if you need this video to do it yourself, you can typically do these sliders for under $200 if you get the metal from a metal supplier. So definitely highly recommend it. But I'd say that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this slider content. Go build some yourself. They're really easy, and it's just time consuming more than it is price, really. So you guys have fun. Let me know how your build goes, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good night.